All right, my friends, welcome back to Salt City Counseling. Once again, my name is Scott. I'm a licensed therapist here in the beautiful state of Utah. And in this video, I wanted to clear the air a bit and open up a lot more and be more transparent and honest. Why I've made far less content these days about high conflict divorce and custody. I know so many of you came to my channel originally for that content, and that's how you found me, because I'm one of the few that I am, and I've gotten this feedback so many times over the years, and thank you. I'm glad it's helpful. But people have told me that I'm virtually one of the only ones that can actually provide like real honest clarity on what is going on with like high conflict divorce and custody, dealing with like someone who is narcissistic or borderline when it comes to divorce, custody, family court, and the like. And I have kind of moved away from making that content, and I really wanted to clear the air about why and what's going on with me, sort of give an update. But I'm also going to talk very, very openly and candidly and frankly about family court. And I'm going to be very, very frank and very straightforward and very honest in this video. As a professional, I often try to do my best to be measured, to be metered, to just be professional in what I talk about and how I talk about it. This isn't going to be one of those videos. I'm going to talk very frankly and openly and honestly about family court. I'm not going to pull punches. I'm going to tell you how I really actually feel about it, because I've dealt with a lot of high conflict cases. I've had a lot of people hire me to help them deal with their high conflict cases over the years. I've had a lot of families. I worked with a lot of kids and a lot of families and a lot of parents who were court involved with family court. So I've just had a lot of experience dealing with it, interacting with it, watching it function, if you can call it that. And so I'm just not going to pull any punches in this video. I'm going to tell you what I actually really think. And this is the primary reason why I have kind of moved away from doing this work. There was a point in my career where I sort of had some faith in family court to do the right thing, to make sense, to follow some sort of guidelines or have any kind of ethics, or that they would care about kids, they would care about families, that they would care about any harm done to kids and any harm done to families. I thought that there would be some ethics involved, or even any conscionable trace of morality. And all of that has been dashed to pieces over the years, over and over and over again. So I've moved away from kind of doing this work and talking to people about this and making content about it, because regardless of what I might tell people that seems to make sense or could be helpful, or how we might expect family court to actually operate, all bets are off. Absolute all bets are off. Regardless of how obvious it would seem the right thing might be to do or to do in regards to family court, all bets are absolutely off. And so as much as I would like to help people with this, and a lot of you have reached out to me, I've had a lot of people contact me. I've given a lot of consultations and ongoing consultations and trying to coach people through this and give them some tips and pointers. Some people tell me that it's helpful. A lot of people tell me that, it's really validating to them. I'm glad, but I don't market myself to help in this regard anymore, because I cannot rely whatsoever to any degree for family court to ever do the right thing. So here's the part. I'm going to dive into this. Here's the part where I'm going to stop pulling my punches. I'm just going to let all of them fly. I'm going to speak very openly and candidly and frankly and honestly about family court and how terrible it is, okay? You've been warned. I would imagine a lot of people are going to dislike this video. Go ahead. I don't care. I don't really care. The lunatics have really taken over the asylum. Now, when it comes to family court, it is just one of our failing systems, right? I feel like the education system is failing. The healthcare system is failing. The healthcare system is failing badly. it's hard to watch. I'm loosely associated with the healthcare system. It's a disaster. It is an absolute disaster. I mean, the lunatics have really taken over the asylum. I've completely lost confidence in the healthcare system, particularly too because I've worked closely with doctors in the past, and I cannot believe that people trust them with their lives, that they put their health in the hands of this individual who is closer to a psychopath than most of us, right? Than most people that you know aren't nearly as close to being a psychopath as your standard average everyday doctor. And I don't know how people trust him, man. If you had seen the things I've seen, I'm not cynical, man. I'm experienced, and the same is true for family court. Despite the fact that all of our systems are failing, education is failing, healthcare is failing, government is failing, the legal system's failing. Family court, to me, without a doubt, hands down, is the absolute worst of the worst. It is the one that is failing in absolute biblical proportions. If you ask me, family court is quite possibly the absolute pinnacle of human stupidity. It's crazy. It's madness. I cannot make heads or tails of how it functions, why they do the things that they do, or what on earth is going on there. I think they try to keep this bogus facade that they care about kids, that they're trying to do what's right for kids. They don't. They don't care about kids. Don't expect them to care about your kids. You could produce video of like a mother chasing kids around, trying to light them on fire with gasoline, and family court will go miles and miles out of their way to make excuses for her or defend her. Family court is completely biased towards moms. We all know it. And I know people people get upset. That strikes a chord with them. They're biased towards moms. And it's interesting too because recently I interacted with an individual who he'd been a politician, local politician, in both the House and the Senate, here locally in Utah, and for like 12 years or something like that. And I had a brief interaction with him about family court, and he had some very choice words for family court. It was specifically targeted at the absurd incompetency and absolute idiocy that is family court. And he specifically talked about the judges and the commissioners, but it definitely extends to the attorneys as well. These people are insane. If you took the family court system and if you took a kind of a zoomed out view and watched it function and watched its behavior, it would have a full-blown personality disorder. Here's the truth about family court, okay? That's what my title is. It's a catchy title. People love that stuff. The truth about family court. Here it comes. There's no book. They don't follow specific guidelines. They don't have a book. There's no methodology. There's no specific goals or what it is that they're supposed to do. There's no ethics. There's no code of ethics. They don't follow any code of ethics. They just seem to make it up day to day. And I mean this sincerely. If everybody in family court, like the judge and the attorneys and all that, if they all dressed up like clowns and huffed markers and spun a wheel to make decisions, it would actually make more sense than what actually goes on there. It is an absolute dumpster fire. And frankly, I think if you put the fate and the future of your family in the hands of family court, don't be surprised when your family and your relationships and your finances and you find them in complete and utter ruin. Because that's what family court does. It leaves families and individuals in psychological and financial ruin without ever really accomplishing anything. I've heard of multiple cases over the years that were stretching on for over a decade. Now, how incompetent is a system that they can't figure something out in a decade? In a decade. And over a decade, they still have not figured out what the issue is. and have not sufficiently solved it. It is just a testament to how incompetent they are. So sadly, my friends, this is just the truth. I've had clients over the years that have bent over backwards to do whatever they could to avoid going to family court and putting the custody in the hands of the court and attorneys and the judges and the commissioners. And as rough as it was for them, they still did a lot better. At least their finances were intact. At least they weren't completely bankrupt from it. Because it will. Family court will absolutely bankrupt you. You'll never financially recover from it, ever. Not unless you have just millions and millions and tens of millions of dollars laying around. If you make less than 100K per year, you will never, even if you make 250K a year, you may never financially recover from family court. It's a disaster. It is a complete disaster. Don't expect them to care about people having personality disorders. Don't expect them to care about child abuse. Don't expect them to pay attention to evidence. They don't care about evidence. Don't expect them to be consistent. They will care about one thing one day and not give a crap the next day. And who can make sense of it? Nobody. Nobody can make sense of this. It's madness. The lunatics truly have taken over the asylum. And so, truly, it's for these reasons that I've decided to take a step back. It was carving so much into my own sanity. You cannot involve yourself working in the system without losing your mind, without feeling like you're developing your own personality disorder, where you're just you can't, your brain is numb from trying to make sense of all this crazy gobbledygook that comes out of there. By the way, too, on that note, around here at least, family court will just throw more people into the mix if it's not going well, like a guardian ad litem, or a special master. If you don't know what guardian ad litem is, so ad litem is it's like a Latin term. I'm pretty sure it means incompetent moron. I've never met a good guardian ad litem. I've had bad experiences with every single one I've ever encountered. They're incompetent idiots who just like to hear themselves speak, that are more getting high on their own self-importance because they've been court appointed to talk over everybody else, because the whole attorney thing is just such a big circle jerk where they're just trying to one-up each other and win and look better than each other rather than try to advance what's best for kids. That's the truth. That is the honest to God truth. A special master is just another attorney that they're going to assign in the case to charge you an arm and a leg, just to send you an email to tell you which parent should take the kids to the doctor or make decisions when people can't get along. None of these people have any background in family science. They have no training. They have no education. They have nothing in family science. They're not required to. My other big gripe with family court: there's no checks and balances. There's no oversight. They could tie a child to one of those wheels, and where the kid is sprawled out on a wheel, like you see in a circus or a carnival, and spin the kid around and rotate him and throw knives at the kid, and nobody would do anything about it. You could file a complaint with the oversight committee or the bar, and they would come back to you and go, "Oh, we can't find any evidence of any wrongdoing." It's madness. It is madness. They can do whatever they want, and they get away practically with murder. It's crazy. It's crazy that there's absolutely no oversight and unobstructed grab of power when it comes to family court. It's crazy. So all of that being said, as much as I have wanted to really help a lot of you with a lot of this stuff, family court is that ultimate X factor. It's basically a hurricane that's going to come through and destroy your house of cards, guaranteed. So as much as I appreciate that a lot of you have followed me over the years due to for this reason, I wish there was more I could do to help. Honestly, I have tried to encourage so many people over the years to band together, to join forces, to form a coalition, or whatever to demand change, to demand reform, to demand oversight, to demand that there's guidelines and consequences for the attorneys that break those guidelines. They do unethical things all the time, but there's no oversight, there's no accountability. And as many people as I've tried to encourage over the years to take these steps, to take these actions, and band together and use each other to create this reform and create this change, for reasons that I don't understand, they just won't. They just won't. They continue to accept a system that will bring utter ruin to their lives. And so, what do? What am I supposed to do? Like, well, this affects your life more than mine, I guess. So all that being said, I know that's grim. Sorry. I only know how to be honest. We're at this position here in 2023 when like it just like the lunatics truly have taken over the asylum, man. And so that's just basically an update as to why I don't make this content anymore, and my honest thoughts and feelings specifically about family court. So I hope you found it enlightening, if not grim and horrible. I only know how to call it as I see it. I will be providing a lot more content on what you can control. What's going to help you improve your individual situation, how to find your own happiness, mental discipline, all kinds of things, and wellness. So I hope you will still subscribe and stay tuned and keep following me. So thanks again, my friends. I hope you're doing well. I truly mean that. So hang in there. Thanks for watching.